How are you affected by the things your God has done? Not just your views of life and death, but how your race is run. If you could see one moment through his eyes, you'd be undone. And if you knew them all, you'd spend a lifetime overcome. But you didn't hear the sound the day your chains fell to the ground, after you spent those years collecting them and dragging them around. And you didn't hear the song the angels sang to celebrate your victory from hell that day they sang so long and sang so loud. And you couldn't know the pain that Jesus knew when he was beaten, cursed, and spit upon by people that he served and had to see it through. And you didn't know the way he felt when our God watched his son get nailed up to a cross to pay a price that we could never pay ourselves. And you didn't see the battle that was fought on your behalf the day you chose to take the path of life and leave death in the past. It might have been an easy choice to make once you had seen the light, but I would doubt the powers of hell released your soul without a fight. And you didn't know the joy that welled up in your father's heart the day the lost sheep he'd been searching for leapt back into his arms. If you were made aware of all the things he does for you, you wouldn't spend another day without proclaiming what you knew. You'd be climbing every mountain just to shout a little louder. Every hour you'd be praising him and finding something new. Sufficient for our faith is what he's done here in this place and what he's doing all around that we can see and we can taste. But that's a fraction of the truth of what he has done and will do, just so that we can have a glimpse at all his love and all his grace. There are far too many words with insufficient definitions. In this world, we love in black and white, but God's love is a prism filled with every shade of color, every one more bright and brilliant, and the deeper that we search, the more we learn from what was hidden. Just think about the word amazing. It's so loosely been defined as something mildly impressive, and we use it all the time. But if we stood before our God, there'd be no use to us describing what we saw or what we felt. Our senses would be overwhelmed. We would be speechless. If we were brought into the unfiltered presence of our God in the raw, impossibly vibrant light of his glory, we would be filled with terror and paralyzed in amazement. We finally know what perfect is supposed to mean and become immediately humbled by the awareness that we have no place anywhere near it. So many words we thought we knew would be rendered minuscule and worthless, and it wouldn't matter because words are just our attempts at grasping at concepts and defining and comparing things that we have known and are able to know. And we would crash into the realization that we can't even begin to grasp or conceptualize the infinite vastness that is our God. What in the farthest stretches of human imagination can compare to the all-powerful, all-knowing, eternal I Am? You can't describe the indescribable. Words like truth and fear and awe and beauty would taste like ashes on our tongues in the presence of the one who was able to design and create the immeasurable heavens and the unknowable intricacies of this majestic earth. If we knew the whole truth of what he did to restore our unworthy and impure hearts to his, we would never be the same. We would have a completely new and for once accurate understanding of the concept of transformation, because we would be utterly unrecognizable to who we were before we collided with the violent white light of his holiness. How are you affected by the things your God has done? Not just your views of life and death, but how your race is run. If you could see one moment through his eyes, you'd be undone. And if you knew them all, you'd spend a lifetime overcome.